English is a funny language, confusing you with its multiple rules and the thers and the ands. I know, I've been there too. My name is Reema Behl, and in this video I have compiled a list of doubts that you probably might have had at some point or the other in your life regarding English language. But maybe you were too embarrassed to ask anyone about it. Let's change that. Let me start with the first and the most common doubt, the then versus than dilemma. Look at the sentence that appears on your screen. My friend writes better than me. My friend writes better than me. Which one do you think is right? A lot of people confuse then and than. While than is used for comparison, like coffee is better than tea, then, on the other hand, is used as a description of time, like first I will go for my class and then I will go and dance. So that was simple, wasn't it? Next one, regardless versus irregardless. I will learn English regardless of how difficult it may be at times. I will learn English irregardless of how difficult it may be at times. Now this one, Microsoft Word is going to hate you for. Why? Because irregardless is not even a word. Regardless, on the other hand, means despite everything. So, regardless of what you think, irregardless is not a word, and refrain from using it. I and somebody else. Now this one is a very common error. Take a look at the sentences that appear on your screen. My husband and I went on a vacation. I and my husband went on a vacation. Which one do you think is correct? Out of the many good qualities of English language, one of them is that it teaches you to be kind. So in a situation where you have to use I, always make sure that you keep the others before you. Like my husband and I, my professor and I, my friend and I. You get the drift, right? The next one is an absolute classic, the difference between angel and angle. Thank you for helping me out, you're such an angel. Thank you for helping me out, you're such an angle. I know, seems weird, right? Don't let the placement of one E confuse you. The only thing that is similar between angel and angle is that they're both nouns. Otherwise, everything from their spellings to pronunciation to their meaning, it's all different. Let's take a look at angle first. Besides its mathematical meaning, angle means to have a perspective or view on things. Angel, on the other hand, is a heavenly being or somebody who's a really nice person. Now, I understand that you may get confused when it comes to the spellings, so I suggest that you pause the screen and think of some trick or strategy that may help you remember the spellings. Like I would use this. Angels need a gel to set their hair. Therefore, the spelling of angel is A-N-G-E-L, whereas angles don't have any such requirement. So there you go. I won't get confused in future. Many versus much. I have many work. I have much work. People often get confused between where to use many and where to use much because both of them mean a lot of. A simple strategy should help you with this. Many is used when we have a countable noun, whereas much is used when we have nouns that cannot really be counted. For example, as a child, I had many dolls that gave me much happiness. So dolls I can count, therefore I use many with it, whereas happiness I can't really, so I use much with it. The lose versus lose debate. I'm trying to lose some weight, that's why I'm going to the gym. I'm trying to lose some weight, that's why I'm going to the gym. Now, a lot of people get this wrong. Loose with a double O is actually the opposite of tight, like this dress is loose on me. Lose with a single O, on the other hand, is a verb that means to no longer have, like don't lose that money. It can also be used in expressions like I'm losing my mind or I'm losing my temper. So make sure that you remember the difference between the two. Overlook versus oversee. Don't overlook your mistakes while revising the paper. Don't oversee your mistakes while revising the paper. Now, overlook actually means when you forget to check something either accidentally or intentionally. Like here, you're being instructed to make sure that you do not overlook your mistakes while you're revising the paper. Oversee, on the other hand, means to check or supervise something or someone. Like at work, your manager may just tell you to oversee a project and not to overlook any mistakes. I hope the difference is clear now. Quiet versus quiet. This lesson is quite helpful. This lesson is quite helpful. Now, quiet as in Q-U-I-E-T means to be silent, like shh, this is a library, be quiet. Quiet or Q-U-I-T-E on the other hand means somewhat, like the book that I read in the library was quite interesting. So make sure that you do not mistake quiet with quite. Even the pronunciation is different. Your versus your. Your car is pretty cool. Your car is pretty cool. Now, while the pronunciation might somewhat be similar, your, as in Y-O-U-R, is used when you speak of ownership, like your homework or your home. Your, on the other hand, is a combination of the words you and are. So when they come together, they make your, like you're pretty cool or you're invited to my birthday party. I'm sure the difference is quite clear and you would not get confused in future. Between versus among. Share the notes between you two. Share the notes among you two. Now, between is always used when there are two people or two items in a sentence. If the number increases to more than two, then you use among. For example, let's keep this a secret between the two of us, or I was among one of the 50 winners of the competition. There you go, nice and simple. Since versus because. Since you did not do your homework, you will be punished. Because you did not do your homework, you will be punished. Which one do you think is correct? Gotcha! This time, both the sentences are actually correct. Why? Because since and because can sometimes be used interchangeably. Both of these are conjunctions, but sometimes they can also have different meanings. Like since can be used to denote time, whereas because is always used to explain a reason or a cause. For example, in a sentence like, I did not study since last Friday, you cannot use a word like because here. I did not study because last Friday. It does not sound right. What you can say instead is, I did not study since last Friday because I was unwell. Alone versus lonely. I feel so alone in this party. I feel so lonely in this party. If you're confused about which sentence is right, let me tell you, there is a host of difference between alone and lonely. Alone is more of a physical state which is characterized by the absence of anyone else around you. For instance, you're all alone in your house or you're all alone in some room. Whereas lonely is more of a negative mental emotion, which can also be experienced if you're surrounded by people. So you can feel lonely even if there are people all around you. Let me give you a better example. You've seen the movie Home Alone, right? That is called Home Alone because the little boy is all alone in this house. Whereas it would be really depressing if the movie was called Home Lonely. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you want to watch more such videos, click on the subscribe button. And for in-depth courses, log on to unacademy.in. This is Reema Behl signing off.